Hello viewers and welcome back to another piece of crap boat anchor bingo pinball repair video. Today, I'm going to be working on Bonanza, the last Magic Squares game. And not a very good one at that. So this is one of those crappy feature stripped down games that Bally was making. This came out in 1976. And a lot of the games that came after this kind of sucked. They weren't terrible, but compared to all the other games in the past, this doesn't really cut it. But this game has magic squares, and I really enjoyed that feature from when I had Broadway a long time ago. I guess technically now it's been well over a year since I repaired that. Man, time flies. So I guess this one isn't that bad. So let's take a look at it. Now this one, the cabinet, is pretty good for the most part. The only major issue it really has is down here in this corner. The wood is all broken behind it. You can actually see it here. It's split heavily. And it was actually a nightmare trying to get this up on the legs because what would happen is, since this leg was basically hanging off only this side of the wood, it would like split up, bend horribly, and I thought it was gonna just snap off several times and the whole thing would tumble over, but luckily that didn't happen. So that's gonna need some major attention down the road before we finish this project up. But other than that, all the other legs are good. It's just that one spot there. I really dig the artwork on this machine. Looks real good. Now this particular model has the yellow frame. There's some other models that have the traditional brown frame, the oak frame. And comparing this one to the oak frame one, it kind of sucks. This one matches 100%, mainly because it's yellow and a lot of the artwork is yellow. So I'm glad this one has the yellow frame. It really stands out. Front cabinet looks pretty good. No major rust on this one. A little dirty. The artwork's there for the most part, so it looks like I don't have to do any cosmetic work to this one other than fixing that back corner. This side, a little more dirty, but again, no major blemishes or marks or whatnot. Side of the head, same thing. Very clean, very nice. There's actually no discoloration on this one, because normally behind this spot where these exposed parts of the head, they'll usually discolor, and then behind the cabinet it's all like the original color, but on this one it's all original, so there's no fading whatsoever, which is perfect. Foot rail looks about how they usually do. Oh, one of these nubs is missing, I just noticed that. But speaking of these nubs, they're all rusted as usual. Because I think they're made of iron, and this actual bar is steel. So that's why the steel doesn't rust, but these do. I think so, I'm not quite sure. But the buttons, they all look pretty good. They're usually all like mashed and abused. But it looks like the only thing I gotta do is just clean them up and put the paint back in. At least I'll try anyways. 25-cent panel, looks pretty good. Shooter rod, rusty and weak as usual, squeaky. This one actually has the key to the coin door. So that's 2 games in a row that have the key to the coin door. Usually don't. Oh, the button's also worn out, need to paint that. That's pretty much it. These legs are also okay. The ones in the back are pretty rusty. Well, this one's pretty rusty too at the bottom. Maybe it was this one that was rusty. Let me see. Yeah, these ones aren't too bad. This one actually has a new leg leveler. I don't remember putting that on, so that must have been included. The steel rails, the one on this side is pretty good up until right here. I don't know what the hell is happening here, but I'm hoping that'll come off easily. Not quite sure. But then this one over here is a little better. The play field is pretty good from what I can see. I don't see any wear, but again, the glass is pretty dirty as they usually are. So there might be some. But it all appears to be there. It looks pretty clean though. I don't know. Apron looks nice. It's got the original instruction cards, which actually look really good, so it might leave those this time. And it appears that the ball lift cover is all dry rotted. I don't know how the hell that happens. And it's not all of them, it's only a few of them. Like this one, Mystic Gate, Miss America 75. Then I have one other game that all had the ball lift cover rotted. All the other ones are fine. I don't know what's up with that. But the back glass is beautiful. No discoloration, no chips, no fading as far as I can see. Looks great. And the artwork looks really cool. Got this cowboy up here, he's about to lasso these bulls, I think. It's got this whole theme is like a Wild West theme. I kind of like it. I think this game, or this title at least, is based off the TV show Bonanza. Because I've kind of figured that out when doing some research online. There's no like direct correlation between the show and this machine, but if I had to guess, this machine is based off of that TV series. Magic Squares panel looks good too. So this game is laid out exactly like Mystic Gate. But I think the thing is that this game is worse than Mystic Gate because Mystic Gate gives you the option to double your scores. This game does not. And in this game, corners are the stars. And instead of the, what was it? The gate feature that was in Mystic Gate, it is replaced with this E line, which is the center line. It's like a magic line. You can move it up and down. And then the selections are how they always are. But in this game, you unlock each corner separately instead of A, B, C, and then D. So I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll find out later when it starts working again and I can play it. But this game, I got with 7 others. You can tell because it's got these stickers on the glass. If you see me repair a game that has those stickers on it, that was from the lot that I got. And I've repaired most of them. I think there's only a few more from this guy that I got. I think, I'm not quite sure. It was, let's see, there's this game, and then it was Mystic Gate, Carnival Queen, Miss America Deluxe, and I think that's it so far. I think there's only a few more. But the games that I got from this gentleman, not the guy who sold me this, but the previous operator, were known to be hacked up horribly. So I hope this one's not like that. But I don't think so, because Mystic Gate wasn't hacked up. And this game is exactly like it, so I don't think that it has hacks too. But not quite sure. We'll have to find out later when we look inside. So I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, I forgot that in the Miss America Deluxe, the bottom lift channel was rusted really bad like this one is. And I think I know why. So, at the gentleman's house who sold me these machines, he had a lot of cats. And he was telling me and my bestie who went with me to pick up these machines a story about how this guy dumped off a bunch of kittens at his house. So he had no choice but to raise them because his animal shelter was full. So I think what has been happening while this game has been sitting there at his property, that the cats have been climbing all over it. I think they've been marking their territory on the bottom of the back glass. Because I can actually see some cat hair. And Miss America Deluxe was like that too. There was cat hair all along the bottom on the glass. And I guess now that I see, it's kind of been leaching up into the paint a little bit. But luckily, it's down there at the very bottom, so you probably wouldn't be able to see it. But last time, I wasn't able to clean that bar very good, so I probably won't be able to do the same thing here. I don't remember it being like that in the pictures. Let me take a look real quick, and we'll see if it was or not. It wasn't. Okay, so I guess these machines have been sitting around long enough for the cats have just been climbing all over them. But that's all right. So I guess we can look inside of it, see what it's like. I looked earlier when I was putting it together, but I didn't really see anything that stood out. But we'll take a closer look and we'll see if anything has or not. So I'll pop open the door and then we'll see what lurks inside. Okay, popped open the back door. Here's what we got. So on the bottom here, we got the usual stepper units and the reflex unit. This looks to be the Magic Squares unit. It's probably just called the selection unit in this game, honestly. They all just use the same name from here on out. It looks alright. Rivets don't look too bad. The back looks pretty good from what I can see. I wonder why these ones always have these like switch stacks right here. I don't know what's up with that. It appears to be reset. Oh, it's locked up. That's fun. That's probably not, well, it's obviously not gonna work with. It's probably not gonna do nothing. Timer unit. Rivets also don't look too bad. I wonder if this game just didn't get a lot of play because the playfield looked nice. So far, these electronics look pretty nice. There isn't a lot of like dirt and stuff everywhere. But I don't know if it's just because of the PVC wiring, you know, the cloth wiring usually gets pretty dirty in certain games. Well, the fan's pretty dirty, but I don't know. But anyways, timer unit also locked up. Oh, there we go. Will needs a little work. All these will need work anyways, like they always do. Those switches in the back. Can't see them. They're probably all oxidized. And then this game, it has this strange diode board. I don't know if I can remove it. There we go. I was kind of peeping around earlier and I saw this paper here. It says diode mounting board layout, top side. So it looks like, I guess all these diodes, from what I can see on the list there, they all just go to step-up coils. I don't know what the purpose of that is for, but it's in here for a reason. So hopefully none of those diodes are shorted, but I guess we will find out later. Okay, reflex unit. Rivets are worse on this one. I wonder why. It's a little stiff. But, oh yeah, that side is completely locked up. Oh, that's all right. And then we got a little itty bitty trip relay bank assembly. Label is gone, so I have no idea what is what. But there's just a few of them on this one. Some of them are tripped, looks like. And we got a bunch of relays here. Let's see, this one is the ball lift. This is cam number 6, probably on the control unit. Number 1 reflex, number 2 reflex. These ones are always cooked because they're always on. This one here, motor. No idea what the hell that does. I don't know why there's 2 switches when they're both jumpered together. That's weird. Weird, weird, weird. Corner replay counter. Again, these are stupid because when you make the swing, this doesn't reset. So you'd have to manually turn this to reset it, as far as I'm concerned. But we'll see if that works later. Oh, it appears to be locked up. Yay! That's probably screwed up too, but we'll find out later when we turn it on. There's some more relays up here. Red score, yellow score, green score, blue score, number 2 step, number 3 step, all scores. So this is technically the score extra step. And this is what you would expect to be hacked up, but on this game, it is not. It's all wired up. I think these coils have been replaced at some point because they're new, and the solder looks a little weird. Like it's been soldered back. Then there's a big old capacitor right here. Right? Is it a capacitor? Or is it a resistor? Oh, yep, it's a capacitor. Let's see, what does it say? "500 microfarad, 100 volt. I wonder what that's for. Wiring goes to this lug. I guess it's for the 50 volt line, I don't know. Okay. And then here's a bunch of stepper units. These particular ones are all the replay counters for the colors. This one, no idea. This one, no idea. This one is the yellow one. This one, no idea. And then this here is the coin unit. Now this is what the red letter step-up units also look like. So when I did the Miss America Deluxe, I thought that stepper unit was the coin unit because it looked exactly like this, but it was not. And I remembered that it couldn't have been because these games and Mystic Gate, I think it's Mystic Gate, this game, and then Tahiti. I'll have a 40 coin maximum setting. I don't even know what the hell it is. Well, in all reality, it's just a bunch of bullshit. But they don't want you putting in too many coins in this game, so they install this, and when it reaches all the way up, it flashes some lights, which I believe in this game is right here on this sign. It says 40 coin maximum something. So you can't put any more coins in after that. I think it's 8 quarters. Because it's 5 replays per quarter, and 8 times 5 is 40, so probably 8 quarters, and then you can't put no more in, which is retarded. But anyways, we have the what would be called the mixer unit, but in this game and Mystic Gate and probably Tahiti, it is called the program unit, which basically is just a smaller version of a mixer unit. It functions similarly, but of course there's a lot missing. There's only 2 discs. This one right here is the flash index. So this is basically the entire game's program right here. And then this one is the reflex factor index. Not sure what that's for. Something to do with the reflex. Probably the amount of stuff that you can unlock in one game, if I had to guess. Some switch stacks here and here. They're all black, oxidized. As usual. Fan. Oh god, it's stiff. It's probably not gonna run. And then the program disc itself looks exactly like this on Mystic Gate. I think this sets up the game, like what you're gonna unlock, if I had to guess. I think that's how it worked on Mystic Gate, because I thought that the rivets were not supposed to be touching the fingers, but they actually are, because in Mystic Gate I had it set where the fingers would be off of the rivets and the game didn't really play. And when I adjusted it so that all the fingers were on the rivets, it started playing normal. So keep that in mind if you're messing with yours. And then there's a bunch of search relays here. Oh, I didn't check if any of these work. Let me see. Broke. 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 Oh, there we go. This one kinda works. Okay. I guess that's pretty much it for the back door. No major hackage so far. And here we are inside the head. Lots of goodies. Here is the control unit. Looks good so far. There's some cloth wires. Most are PVC. Wonder what that's for. I think this is a factory. I did see earlier that this one switchblade over here is bent way up out of the way. This one, I think, is for the replay register when you're playing multiplay, or if your game's set on multiplay rather. So I think they bent that out of the way so you can't get your additional 4 credits. So they make you put in a quarter each time. That's very evil. Timer cams index. It's good. That coil was burnt the hell up in stock market. I tested that coil, by the way, and it ended up being bad. It was shorted. It only was like at 1 ohm. But I don't like these control units and these freaking program units in these games because they don't have the drag arms. So you don't have to. So you don't get to hear the clicky clacky, and you don't get to have that nice control unit stall, so you can see all the dancing lights. Now it's just one constant revolution. It's just stupid. So that's another reason why I don't like these stripped down games. But it is what it is. It doesn't bother me that much. But it all looks to be in order. It spins nice. And I'll probably run this will probably be all screwed up. We shall see. But I don't see anything else that sticks out in the moment. Replay cams index. What is this? Oh, I think it's just some trash. That works too. Search wiper index. Or what is it? What is it called? Search on some index, because this is the search wiper lock magnet. The search wiper, God, there's like no room here. I'll better take a better look later. Looks all right. Probably doesn't work. Here's the fuse block. Lots of fuses. Let me see. Fuse clips kind of look tarnished. Might not work. Trying to look at the fuses. They all seem good. Don't see any that are blown. The transformer wiring. Service outlet. I wonder if they upgraded these to be, you know, where they have the longer blade and the shorter blade on the cords. I think so. I don't know, I can't see it too well. Here are the Jones plug sockets. Actual Jones plugs. Let's see. Probably all trashed. Let's see, what are these ones that I'm pulling? They might be the, oh, they're the playfield ones. Oh, this one's broke. What the hell? That might have happened when I was pulling it out. That'll need some work, but yeah, they're all screwed up. As usual, I have yet to have a game where those are not screwed up, but you know, all these games have been sitting in storage for years, so that's to be expected. Okay. These are the score units for each color. Looks like. Not sure which is which because the labels are gone. But let's see if they step up. This one does. Reset's a little slow. This one, it was stuck for a moment, but it's going. Sluggish. This one also got stuck for a moment. Also sluggish. Then this one also got stuck for a moment. A little sluggish too. Okay, and then the beautiful Magic Squares unit itself. This one is very different from Broadway. It looks much more simplified. So it's got these big discs that turn around. That one, oh, it's all locked up. There's a coil in the back. And it just rides along these contacts. Looks pretty simple. Looks like all I gotta do is just take this screw out and then the disc will pop off. Then I could just clean the little board behind it. I don't think I gotta clean anything else. There might be a switch hidden back there for the coil, you know, for the reset. This appears to be the E line. Strange the way it works. Oh, there's a chain. What the hell? Oh, it's different too. I thought it was gonna be like the mystic lines. No, it's like the magic lines. I don't know why they just didn't do it like that. It would have been simpler. But it is what it is. It's fine. It's all locked up. I don't know if it can move. Interesting setup. And of course, it's got to oil the clutches too. It looks like you can unplug this whole thing and take it out because there's Jones plugs over here too. I was looking at it earlier, and the loom goes all the way up, and it's this loom right here. And it goes to all the wiring. So you could take this entire thing out and service it on the bench if you really want to, if you have this game. I always find that neat and handy. I never usually do because, you know, since everything's right in my teeth and I have all that I need right here, I don't need to. And over here, we got the usual relay bank, the anti-cheat, multiplay, start, and replay reset. All these look good so far. I wonder why some of these have cloth wires and most are PVC. I never understood that. It is what it is. I wonder why this wire. Oh no, I think it's fine. Okay. And then up here, there's a couple stepper units. This one appears to be the, oh no, it's actually called the Magic Square unit. Well then, what the hell is this unit? I think Mystic Gate had that unit too. What was it called? Shit, I don't remember. But okay, so this is the Magic Squares unit. This coil was stuck. Appears to be stepping up fine. Oh. Resets poorly. This is the selection feature unit. Coils over here on this side. That one is great. Okay. Replay register. And then, what the hell's this? Oh, it's a chime. What the hell? I got a chime in this game? I guess that's original. I know in Mystic Gate you can add chimes, but I don't remember that being a thing for this one. Is this the plunger, right? I don't know, it's stuck down. I don't know, but yeah, that's a chime. Okay. I don't know what that does. Or like, well, I know it's a chime, but I don't know like what it's for. You know, does it step up or does it chime when you score or when a stepper unit steps up? I don't know. I remember seeing a video on a Miss Universe that had a chime in it like this one. And every time you would advance something or unlock something, it would go ding ding ding. So I don't know, I guess that does the same thing. But there's everything inside the head. No hacks, so we should be clear to go. So thank God for that. We just need to do a bunch of cleaning. Let me see these Jones plugs. These have never been removed, so they probably look real bad. Ooh, they're stiff. Here we go. They don't look too bad. I don't know. Maybe there's not a lot of amperage going through them, if I had to guess. Not sure. Okay. Well, the head checks out. So now we'll look in the cabinet and we'll see how it looks in there. Hopefully the same thing. Okay, successfully popped the glass out in the foot rail. The wing nuts were still on it, so I had to loosen those up again. And this playfield is actually really good. Doesn't look too bad. It's dirty, of course. And there is a bit of planking now that I look at it. But, again, it's very good. No wear, just dirt. So this will clean up nicely. Just better look at those instruction cards. I'll just end up leaving them. They're not dry rotted or anything. I could probably clean them up too. And of course, better look at this. And I lift the screws out, so I'll pop this up and then we'll look underneath it. Okay, messed around the cabinet. It's pretty clean in there. I did find a few things. One is it had the original packet, and it has the schematics and some other paperwork. We'll look at that in a moment. There's a reflex gear, 3 of the pinballs, and then 1 little quarter from 1992. No, 3. Yeah, 93. Okay, that was about it. Nothing else in there. But everything over here looks to be all hunky-dory. I wonder why the switches have a big old resistor on them. With the buttons. It is what it is. And look at this. It has the key for the back glass lock. Which, thank God for that, because the last game I worked on that had that frame was Dixieland. That was a freaking nightmare trying to work around that, since that game didn't have the key for the lock. But all this looks hunky-dory. Not too much rust on this one. The other 2 pinballs are accounted for. They're all dirty, of course. Might as well just pop these in there. Okay. So let's see what we got in here. Look to be the schematics. They sure are. I won't unfold them right this moment because I don't want to make a mess, but something else in here. For amusement only, no prizes or gambling permitted. Text sign on back of top molding of back box. Okay. I wonder if all the other operators took notice of that. One more piece of paper in there. You later play key. Oh, the comeback key. That's what that's for. Or this is for, rather. You can pause to read that if you want. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really get a lot of games, or so far, that have the original schematics with them. So far it's been Nashville, Dixieland, Miss America 75, and now this game. That'll have the original paperwork with it. And then, what's going on here? That's all bent the hell up. That's supposed to cover the leg bolts. And the comeback key on this side. I never have the key for those. I wonder if the key works on this one too. I wonder if they're usually not key to like, but just in case. No, they're not key to like. That's all right. Don't really see anything else. Oh, I shut the coin door. Looks all right. There's these 2 wires that I figured out. They're for the they're for a coin meter. Because there's one on the back door too, but that's not even relevant at all. Tilt bob down there, a bunch of tilt switches, power switches down there. So I guess that's it, but here's the bottom of the play field. Now for some reason, this play field was like stuck in there, and it kind of still is. It's just sitting on the steel. I hope this cabinet isn't like buckled or something. But here's the shutter motor. Which is, of course, all black and oxidized. Lifter start relay. Looks all right. Switch stack for when the shutter closes and opens. Reset all the lines, or the squares rather. Shutter panel. Looks all right. I always wonder why there's like yellow spray paint, like around the holes. Oh, and this one has the little holes too for the switches. That's handy. I guess they were there before and I just never noticed it. I will need to look back on some of my videos, see if they were like that or not. But I guess that's everything. So, we'll plug the Jones plugs in the head. We'll turn it on and we'll see what it does. Okay, got the Jones plugs plugged in. I believe they're all correct. So we're about to plug it in. I just realized too, when I put this together, I forgot to pull out the cord. Well, too late now. But the rest of it looks good. I hope there's nothing wrong with that end that's smashed in under there. Hope it looks okay. All right, here we go. Hopefully the machine is turned off. Okay, we're plugged in. All right. See, this part always makes me nervous because, you know, the machine, if it's been sitting for a long time, untested, you really have no idea what's going to happen when you turn it on. You know, something could smoke, something could catch on fire, it could blow up, or it could work. You really don't know. So that's why I always got to take precautions when you're turning something that's been sitting for a long time back on. But I'm gonna flip the switch, see what happens. Here we go. Okay. Couple of lights. Playfield lamps are dead as they always are. I heard the coin lockout pull in. You probably heard that too. Oh, there's the playfield lights. Oh, they're all working. That's new. Okay. I was looking at them earlier and they had a lot of soot, so I was just assumed that they were blown out. I think those lights started working. I just think there is a lot of like lamps to illuminate this magic squares disc. The side ones are probably all burned out. Oh, this one came back. Looks good. I wonder if these corners are translucent. We'll find out when we take the glass out later to change the light bulbs. But everything seems to be hunky-dory. No fire. It's quiet. We might be in tilt. One of these relays. I think this top one is the tilt because look at these heavy gauge wires on there for the motors. But let's see if it'll start a game. It didn't kick out the pinballs like I thought it was going to. But we know our 50-volt circuit's working because the coils are working. All right, so about to hit the coin switch. We'll see if it will start. Here we go. It did start. Did not kick out the balls. But the shutter closed because this goddamn trip relay bank motor is stuck. Let's see if I could force it. Turn. Let's see. Here we go. Got the shaft up in there. Yeah, it's probably gonna need to be taken apart again, but I'll just reset all these manually. Well, it looks like something's causing oh, yep, there it is right there. I was about to say something's causing the tilt trip to stay tripped, but this plumb bob is all the way down. There's a little screw that you can adjust. Adjust the height of it, like I'm doing here. Here we go. All right. Kick the ball out. Okay, that should do it now. Here it goes. It's stuck like I said it was going to be. I wonder why the coils keep trying to pop out. Here it goes. Sheesh, look how dirty that is. Oh, here. There you go. Forgot to reset the bottom too. I think they're the lockout ones. Come on, you can do it. Come on, don't fail on me now. Might need to put some oil on it. Oh, there it goes. That's what happens when you let your shit sit for too long. Locks up. That one's pretty good though. Okay. Nothing's lit, but let's see if it'll try to start now. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it didn't give us our extra credits, but it's probably because of that switch that's bent up. But let's see. Oh, one of the corners is halfway stuck. There we go. Oh, I think this is okay. That's what that's for. It runs the Magic Squares motor. Oh, the linkage is messed up. Well, try not to use that, but okay. Keep hitting the switch. There we go. Score stepped up. Oh, heard the chime. There we go. Some lights doing their thing. I think we have one of the squares unlocked. There we go, some lights are coming back. gonna shoot the ball. I'm gonna try to anyways. Well, I think I'm just gonna manually flick it. Shutter closed, kicked out the next ball. Oh, try again. $25. 25 is indeed lit. Six is lit. That's flashing. Okay, oh, let me put the foot rail on so we can see if the magic squares work. I don't think they will, honestly. Just because of the linkage was messed up. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm just gonna assume A is the only one unlocked. All right, here we go. There we go. Got stuck for a moment. Oh yeah, it's... yeah, it's messed up. So let me show you what happens when this runs. See the chain in there? It goes over here. Yeah, this whole thing's all locked up. It's gonna need lots of work. Okay, what about B? Do we have B unlocked? We do not. Okay, so I guess we just have A. What about E? Okay, we don't have E unlocked. Okay. Plunge the next ball. Nine. Okay. Let me move. Well, if I had C unlocked, I could make a win there on the red, but I don't think that's gonna work right now. Let's see here. I don't know which direction the disc turns. Well, it's probably best not to force that to work right now. Well, we'll just leave that as is. On to the next ball. Program disc is spinning. Shoot the next ball. Get some help. This playfield needs lots of work. Rings are shot so there's no bouncing action. Thirteen is not lit. I'll show you that program disc. That coil is working. Seven is lit. I guess the timer unit is not stepping up. I don't know what, forgot what disables that. Or maybe this relay. Here we go. Yep, steps up the timer unit. It's okay, partially working game. Still can't do a lot with it, obviously, because of all the crap that screwed up. But we do know that it will come up and it will try to run its program. So I think we can start working through all the electronics, get them all clean and functioning properly. Then hopefully we should make progress slowly enough that we can see the game come back. All right, so we'll shut her down and we'll get started on the back door. Okay, so we're going to clean all the stepper units on the back door, which is those 5 right there and these 2 right here. I'm also going to do the reflex unit since it's similar. But all these stepper units need attention like we seen earlier. This one's working a little better now, but see, it still has lots of issues. This one's still fine too. For the most part, it still has reset issues, but steps up fine. So I'm just gonna do my usual thing. I'm gonna tear them apart, take the spider off, but this time I have to take the gears out on all of them, clean them up with the oil, and then use the sanding block on all the rivets and the fingers, get rid of all the carbon buildup and oxidation, and that should get them working much better. So I will do that, and then I will report back when it's done so you can see how they work, and then I'll just rinse and repeat for all these other ones up here. So I'll get to it. Okay, progress update. I cleaned these 2 stepper units right here and the reflex unit. And I got them working pretty good. This one, it's kind of a little sluggish, still resetting, but it seems to be resetting all the way, even just stepped up 1 position. And you can adjust that by messing with the spring a little bit, but the problem is you need to make that just right, because if you have it too tight or too loose, it'll either not step up all the way or it won't reset all the way. So you got to play around with it a little bit, and I think I've got it in a good enough spot where it can reset. So as long as it resets all the way back to the position that it's in right now, it's good. Timer unit, that's much better. This one's much more snappy. And I cleaned all the switches on the back. I had to take them apart to get the cam out. Oh, and by the way, both the cams, well, not so much of this one, but this one was all gummed up. It didn't smell like WD-40, but I don't know if it was like really old WD-40 or whatever was on it, but I cleaned it up and that brought it back, of course. And then these 2 switches on the reset pawls have been cleaned too, and there's no switches on the back on this one. And the reflex unit, it was kind of locked up at first, but I just kept spinning these gears, and it's much more loose now. This one here in the back, that's the pull out disc, I believe, and this one's the pull in, or it might be vice versa. But this one's a little more sluggish. So I may need to look at that a little bit, but this one is nice and loose. You can see it moving. I think this is about as far back as it goes. So I'm gonna leave it there. And I said I was gonna keep doing the rest of the stepper units, but I just kind of been doing everything. So I've also cleaned all these relay switches here, since they were right here in my teeth. See, all of them are clean. These switches are clean, mainly because all these ones only had like one switch on them, and then these ones only just have a few. And then I got the corner replay counter working good too. I cleaned the switches, and then this was all locked up at first, but then I just started spinning the disc, and it's nice and loose now. So that should be good to go. So I think the next thing I'm going to tackle is the trip relay bank, because I got to work on the motor, get it loosened up, and then I got to clean the switches. Luckily, there's only a few on this one. Excuse my voice. And I found out the label's actually here, but it's on the back side. Let me see, I got the prop in. There we go. But it's the way it's labeled is retarded, because that first one says tilt. That's fine. This one right here says alt. That one there I can't even read because the staple's in the way. That one says CO-2. Oh, I think that means corner, because this one says CO-1. So that's probably the corners. That says B-5, so before a fifth ball. And that says B-4 before a fourth ball. And then the cam switch right here. So I'm gonna tackle this next, and then we'll finish up these stepper units. So I'll mess around with this. I'll make some progress. I'll come back, show you how it works once it's all cleaned up, that motor anyways, and then we can move on. So I will I'll get started and I'll report back. Okay, progress update. I got the trip bank assembly all cleaned up, cleaned all the switches, and I got the motor unstuck. It's nice and smooth now. That's how it ought to be. And I cleaned all these stepper units here. They're all good again. A lot of these were just stuck, these replay counters. They're still a little bit stiff, but they shouldn't get stuck anymore. Whoa. We're kind of in the middle of the game right now. But I wanted to point out something. So I always say that these cam replay counters don't have a way of resetting when you make the win, but apparently they do. This switch right here is a homing switch. And I checked this out in the manual too, so that's how I found out. So the way it resets is when that switch is closed, it'll send power to the coil through a switch on the impulse cam. So watch what happens when I shut this. There you go. So they do reset after all. Okay. And nothing else is new. So I think the next thing we'll do is we'll start taking apart the program unit. Luckily on this one, it's just a couple discs and the program disc. Shut it off here. I went ahead and gave myself a head start by jamming out this roll pin. At first it wasn't budging, but then it eventually started slowly coming out. So I just got to hammer out the rest of it. Then I could take the whole thing apart. I was unable to on Mystic Gate, so I had to work around that roll pin. But luckily we won't have that issue here. And then these relays I still need to clean, so we'll do those last. So I'll take this all apart, and I'll show you what we got, and I'll show you what needs to be cleaned. All right, managed to get the entire program unit all apart. So I went ahead and cleaned everything. Cleaned the program disc. All the rivets are nice and clean. Used the sanding block on these. And I cleaned these discs here. Those are pretty shiny. I cleaned all the switches here and here, and then this one right here, and these ones down here. That takes care of those. Then down here, we got the program arm wiper. Cleaned that. Bunch of fingers that you gotta clean. Then I got this disc right here. I think this is the flash index disc. Just flashes all the lights. And then this one's the reflex factor disc. And then the motor. I had to clean the shaft because a lot of these sleeves were like really stuck on there. So I had to really put some oomph into it to get them out. And there's like a lot of like leftover old grease and dirt and chunks in that little channel there. And then I cleaned the motor a little bit, put some oil on it, cleaned the fan off. Didn't do too much to that, but that should help boost performance and it shouldn't squeak anymore when it runs. And I think that's it. All the hardware is over here. So I'm pretty much good to put it back together. It shouldn't be too hard. I might have to, excuse me, might have to put a bunch of oil on the shaft to fit those sleeves through because they'll probably get all stuck and whatnot. But I'll tackle that, knock it out, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all back together. And then we can try and see if anything's improved since we started. Okay, I successfully got all the parts back together on the program unit. The program disc and the wiper. It's adjusted pretty good, so I don't have to make any adjustments to that. I oiled the clutch a little bit, but I didn't go too crazy on it since it seemed to be working. Now, whenever I put these mixer/program units back together, I never put this pin back in because it usually doesn't need it. And it makes it easier for the next time this needs to be taken apart. All you gotta do is just take it apart as you would. You don't have to try and bash that pin out. And I usually have pretty good luck with that. This is the flash index disc, as it says there on the label. This is what does the lights, and I think there's probably a little bit of programming, like as far as like randomization goes when you unlock something, I believe. I'm stuck, there we go. Hopefully that's all back together properly. I haven't tried it yet, I'm just looking it over. This is the reflex disc. All looks good. All these switches are cleaned. These ones here, motors back together, wires are soldered on. So I guess we can try it and see if it's any different. I don't think it'll be too much or too different because, you know, all the main stepper units that actually move and indicate things on the back glass are these score units and these ones here that are still messed up, and this is still messed up, that's still messed up. So I think the most we'll probably get is just some flashing lights, and maybe feature unlocking would be easier since all those contacts and connections are clean. So we can try it. We'll turn it on. Okay. Timer unit's all the way up. So we can start a game. We'll see how it plays. Okay. That looked a lot better. All our lights are back. It looked good. Some of them will probably still burn out, of course. And we got E. Haven't seen that work yet. Oh, we got before fifth. That's cool. Okay. Won't spend a whole lot of time playing. Okay. Let's try shooting the ball. Of course, the playfield still sucks, but we're just testing it to see how it plays. Okay, 23. Oh, let me see if the E line works. It does. Can you see it move? Well, it'll probably need some adjustment, of course, but it does appear to be working. Okay. Next ball. I kind of oiled the shooter rod a little bit just so that it's easier to plunge the ball. 24, okay. Let me see. Ooh, those two lights are bright. Probably on the verge of blowing out. Okay, so that E-line's kind of working for the most part. Okay, 21 is working. Don't have the D lane, the D corner unlocked. Here goes our program disk. 14. Do we have B unlocked? We do not. I'll show you the program disk. That seems to be working good still. Okay, if I had the C corner, I could move it there and make it win in the blue diagonal. Okay. 22. 22 is not working, but it's right here. But that's all right. So I guess it's a little better. So we can start work on everything inside the head now. I'm gonna start with the control unit, but I'm gonna also mess with these Jones plugs a little bit, clean them up, and then I might check out the fuse block. A lot of the fuses seem to be working. Like the 115 volt, that's obviously working because the game's on. 50 volt is working because all the coils are working. 17 volt, that's for the card bulbs, that's working. And then the rest of them are 6 volts. One is the general illumination. One is the, I'd imagine the back glass general illumination. And then the last one is probably the feature lights. And those are all working. But I might just check them out and clean them anyway, just so that we have a nice stable connection over there. And then we can just keep going. So I'll shut it down, then I'll mess with the control unit. I'll show you what we got to do there. All right, got the control unit right here in our teeth. It's really easy to take it out. There's 4 screws, 3 right here on the edge of the plate. This one's hidden right here. And then there's one right here, which is somewhere hidden in there, right next to the replay cams index. Then you lift this whole thing. Sometimes you need to take this off, but luckily I've been able to get away with this, having it sit right here. As long as the back door is all the way out, you can rest it here and then you can have easy access to everything. So what I gotta do is I gotta take this screw out, then I gotta take these 2 screws out here on these little frames here. And then you gotta take all 4 of these screws out to completely disconnect the frames from the wiper board. And then once those are out, then I can pull the wiper off. Might have to pry it off this gear here, off the clutch. And then I can swing this out from the shaft, then have access to all the switches here. So I will do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like after all that is done, and then I'll tell you what needs to be done from there. Alright, this is what the control unit typically looks like after I've disassembled all that I want to. Usually it's just a bunch of hanging parts. There's a lot of the parts over here, hardware, screws, other miscellaneous parts. So what I do from here is, since this is out of my way, I just clean all the switches, which I have. You can tell on a lot of them. Some of them were pitted really bad, like that one down there was. Had to go over it a few times. These right here, those are all good. And then there's these ones here in the front on the index locks. I usually do these first before I take this whole thing apart, since those are technically right here, so it's easy access. And then on here, most games will have a couple switch stacks on these 2. They're normally closed. Those are pretty dirty too, so I clean those. And then this one over here has the spool fingers on it, so I hit them with the sanding block too. And then the biggest part, the search disc, I've also hit with the sanding block. Got it looking good. It looked pretty good already before. The rivets were just a little darker, like they usually look from the factory. But I just decided to hit them anyway, just so that we don't have any connection issues later. Oh, and then all these ones with the R button have this coil that mounts right here that also needs to be removed. Otherwise you can't get the search wiper off. Speaking of that, I've also cleaned the fingers on it. Hit those with the sanding block. They usually look pretty good to begin with, but I just hit them anyway just because. And then I've also oiled the clutch for the search disc. And I've never shown it, but this is the neat's foot oil I use. It's important that you use neat's foot oil on the clutches. I just got that off of Amazon. I usually don't keep it over here with my other 3-in-1 oil, just because it makes the desk all messy, you know, if it gets everywhere like it has been here. Not that that's a big issue, but I just like to keep the oil separate from all the parts. So I believe that's everything for the control unit. I could clean the fan, but who's got time for that? So now I guess it's all ready to be put back together. So I will do that, and then we can start repairing everything over there. So I'll do that, I'll show you how it looks, and then we can move on. Oh, and I also did the Jones plugs too. I'll show you these ones. Kind of hard to see, but those are all nice and shiny now. See the brass on some of them. This one right here, this big one, that one right there, it was broken. You can see the super glue I ended up putting on it. It seems to be holding up. And the fuses checked out fine. So I'll take care of all this and we'll come back and I'll show you what we got to do next. All right, that's all back together. Easy as pie. See, it's not that hard. I see people overcomplicate these all the time. It's really not that hard. So, I also forgot to point out earlier that this was the switch that was bent out of the way, and I bent it back. So, our multiplay should now work. When I hit the coin switch, it should add the 4 credits to the register. All right, so I mount this back and then we can get started on all the goodies over there. All right, so here in the lamp panel, there's not much on here. Most of the space is taken up by the Magic Squares unit. But what I think I'm going to start with first is these 4 stepper units here. These are all the stepper units for each score color. Red, green, yellow, and blue. So I'm just going to knock them out one by one. They don't particularly look bad, the rivets, but they need physical attention. They all step up fine. If I could find the freaking, there it is. But they just have resetting issues. That one was alright, but a lot of these are like sticking pretty badly. So I need to tear those apart, clean them up, and that should get them back. Each one has a switch on the back, it looks like. That one don't. Neither does that one. Neither does that one. Huh, only this one does. That's weird. But that's one less thing I gotta deal with, so I'll knock them out. If I find anything, I'll show it to you. Otherwise, I'll just cut straight to the chase. And I'll be back shortly, and then we can move on. Okay, just finished up the last stepper unit, which is this one. I believe it's the blue score. And they all step up and reset nicely now. They all had grime and something, grease on the cams. I was preventing them from resetting probably. This one was the worst one. All nice and snappy now. So now I'm gonna do these 2 stepper units over here and then wrap up with this one here. This one's also got reset issues. Again, steps up fine, but poor to reset. This one resets okay, but it ain't great. That was a bad example, but most of the time it does reset. But they'll need some work regardless. So I'm gonna knock those both out. I believe this is the only one that has a switch on the back. So all I gotta worry about is that one. And then we could do the Magic Squares unit next because I'm anxious about that. So I'll knock those out, I'll show you how they perform afterwards, and then we can keep going. All right, just finished up these two stepper units. They're working nicely now. It's this one, I can never find the step-up coil. Very snappy. And this one, also very snappy. So those are out of the way. And when I did that, I also went ahead and cleaned these switches on these relays and then the ones on the register. As you can see, some of them, they weren't too bad, of course. Now I did see something here. There's this wire that goes to the step-up coil on the register, it looks like. Yes, it's the step-up coil. It goes over here to the multiplay relay. And I was looking at the solder and I believe it may be original. It's all dusty looking. So I don't think anybody's ever tinkered with that. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. Not sure. Okay, never mind. I was about to say. I thought there would be more than one wire, but there's a single pole double throw switch. This one that's connected to this green and red wire probably goes to the control unit, and then the other one is a yellow and brown wire, it looks like. I believe it goes to the control unit. I'm pretty sure there was a wire that was that color. Yes. Okay, so disregard that. I do need to work on this register unit a little bit. The reels are kind of stiff, so I need to oil it a little bit. But I'm gonna do that later. But we're just gonna focus on the Magic Squares unit. So this is pretty complex. It's much more different than the older one, the older 50s ones. This one's driven by a chain. Look down in there. The chain rides along all of the 4 gears, or discs rather. This is the motor right here underneath this cover. So that chain probably needs to be oiled because it doesn't really run too well, as well as the discs. All the discs appear to be at home, so that's nice. Just better look at that E line. It's like a Miss America magic line instead of a Mystic Lines type setup, which I thought it would be, but it's not. It's all together. This is the E cam down there. So I was thinking earlier, like how does this come apart? And like a lot of these late 70s games, Bally made it so you can remove the entire thing. That's what these Jones plugs are for here, which I've removed. I've also cleaned these too, by the way, just to knock them out. Those are all clean. And you can remove this 2 ways. One, you can remove the entire thing, or 2, you could remove just this top piece. You just gotta unplug all these plugs here because they go to all the lights and possibly the motor. I think. Most likely. And then you could take just the entire top off with the lights. Or you can move it completely, and and the way you do that is there's these 4 screws on each corner down there, but there's also these 2 huge bolts that are holding it inside, and you gotta remove those nuts, and then you can lift the entire thing out of there. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna work with it as it is sitting in the machine. So I kept looking around how this is supposed to come apart. It appears that it's made, or it's built rather, like the Mystic Lines unit. So there was these 4 screws here. These 2 I didn't have to remove, so I put them back in. But there's these 2 right here that I removed, and when you do that, you can lift this entire thing up, and it comes up just like the Mystic Lines units. And there you go. This one's not straight. There we go. Then you can clean all those, which I will. And this as well. And if you take these screws out, you could slide this whole transparent piece out of there, and then you could see the bulbs behind it. Which I will do that because the bulbs are like the first thing I like to work on, because those get me paranoid because they're pretty obsolete. So I'll do that, mess with those, and then once those are out of the way, I'll tilt this back down and we can start working on everything up here. So that'll be lots of fun. So I'll deal with this and then I'll come back when I'm ready to do all the other parts. I'll let you know how I took those apart and what you got to do there. Alright folks, I messed around with all the number light bulbs and a few of the letter bulbs, and they all appear to be working. There was only one that was burnt out, and there was 2 that were different kinds than these. Most of these are 1464s, but a couple, or I guess there was a few that were 1458s, but they were the ones that are like super bright. So I went ahead and replaced them with 1464s that I still had, which were these 2. They were originally here on the E line, but I put them over here. So those are all good. So I still have some spares for the next game that needs them. But that's all taken care of. I cleaned all these plastics. A few of these number discs I couldn't clean too well because the problem is these the actual circles with the numbers on them are like riveted in there on this disc. So I could only clean the front side. I couldn't clean the other side, which is what you're seeing right here. You could still see a lot of dirt on a lot of them. But I don't think visibility will be an issue. So I just left it as is. The E-line turned out great. I didn't clean them from the other side, except for the numbers, the corners. But I don't think it matters too much. You can see through them very well. So I'll put this back together, close the hatch, and then I'll start messing with everything on top, see what I can do about that. Alright, so I got the Magic Squares unit all finished up. I'll tell you what I had to do because I didn't film any of it. So I had to take the 4 discs off, then from there you can take the screws out of each corner. They're separate, by the way. And that'll give you access to the chain linkage and the clutches. So from there I just oiled the shaft going down through this plate all the way down to the disc. Some of them were gummed up, some were not. C was pretty gummed up, D was fine, B seemed fine, A I couldn't even get to because 2 of these damn screws stripped out. So I couldn't remove the board on A. But I oiled it from the other side and that seemed to boost performance a little bit. So I just kept letting it spin and spin, so hopefully the oil would seep in there. And I believe it's all good now. And the E-line, the issue that was going on with it was the plate was magnetizing. So I cleaned it with the sanding block and now it no longer sticks. Same thing with the D corner, it was doing the same thing. And the C one, I believe. And then from there, once I did that, I tried it and C and D were good to go, but B and A were giving me shit. Probably because A I couldn't even get to, so I couldn't take apart the clutches and clean them. but the B one would just act up whenever it wanted to. And for a while, it was working fine. It's been a few days, by the way. I've just been tinkering this on and off because I'm trying to get it perfect so I don't have to come back to this. And I did take apart the clutches and I cleaned them because I think what was going on was, as the spinning, I was oiling the chain, and I think too much got in the clutches, so now it made them slip. So I took them apart and cleaned them. Then I put them back, and it was much better, but then it started acting up again. So I took it apart again, and then I realized I put one of the clutches on backwards. So the side that's supposed to be flush with the disc that helps spin the gear down in there, it was on backwards, so there wasn't traction. So I swapped it, and now it seems to be good. The only one I have to look out for is A, because sometimes this relay gets stuck. Either it doesn't pull in, or this bar, or this plate rather, gets stuck. But I'm not sure if it's just something with the button since I haven't cleaned this area yet. The plate's right here, so it's just easy access if I have to take it apart. But I'm trying not to because I don't want to spend too much time on this one particular unit. But I will show you. So right now I have everything enabled. The stepper unit's all the way up. So here's A. See, that's what I was talking about. It does spin. Sometimes it will get stuck because of that coil. Okay, here's B. Maybe still slipping. See, now I'm gonna fuck around with it. So I have to keep working on B. And C. C is good. And D. D is good. Sometimes the chain like pops because it's trying to pop off the linkage. I don't know why it does that. And then E. You see the line move? So E is good. So I guess I gotta work on this B and A. Messing around with them. So I'll do that and I'll come back when they're all taken care of, hopefully forever, or at least until the next person wants to mess around with this. And then we'll keep moving because we still got the cabinet to do. All right, so I think I got it working a lot more better now. The B corner, by the way. I took apart the clutches and one of them was great, but the other one actually was not so good. It was kind of deteriorating. So I kind of put some of that neat's foot oil on it, let it soak for a little bit. And that kind of made it a little better. It would still slip, of course. So what I decided to do then is I took the metal washers that ride the clutch and I kind of sanded them down a little bit just to get rid of all that dirt that may be on it and old grease and whatnot. And I believe that's actually done it because now it does not slip anymore. So here we go, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it well because of the light bulbs reflections, but works great now, it does not slip anymore. And A apparently is good now too. I didn't do nothing to it, but so that's all taken care of apparently. And of course the rest of them work. Here's C. Maybe because since it's upright, it likes it better that way. D corner. Then the E line. I have the lockout coils disengaged, so that's why I'm able to press the buttons. So I guess that's all done and out of the way, thank God. I'm still keeping my eye on that A corner. I don't trust it at all. B, I think we're good to go with. C and D, we're off the table with, and E as well. So the next thing I did while I was waiting, because I like to wait in between testing periods, make sure that those are actually working if I let them sit for a while without playing it. So I changed all, or most of the light bulbs. All these have been changed, because since these don't flash in these games, it's pointless to keep the 55 bulbs in. But anything else that flashed, I cleaned the 55 bulbs and kept them in. Here's a bunch of them here. These are all 55 bulbs. Any of the GI are replaced with regular bulbs, except for these ones, because they're much brighter, so they'll help illuminate it. So I think those are good to go. We'll need to check, of course, as we play, make sure all the lights and the scores are working. But here's the other side of the back glass. I've cleaned it both front and back. And here's the damage on the back. It's actually pretty bad. I'm thinking about clear coating it, but I don't know. I don't think it'll get any worse now, but just something to keep my thoughts on about. But apparently, like I thought, up at the top here, these two corners are translucent. So what I think I'm gonna do is, not right now of course, but later in the series, or the video rather, I'm gonna do a light bulb mod, but unfortunately I don't have the sockets since I used them all up in the Miss America 75, and I don't feel like waiting on them to arrive, even though I could, because that'd probably be one of the last things I do, and who knows what else we have to do, because there's probably a whole bunch of crap that doesn't work on this machine right now, and we still got other cosmetic things to do. So I may or may not wait after all, but if I don't wait, I'm just gonna solder some wires to some light bulbs and then just put them in the areas. I don't know if I'll put one or two. We'll see how it looks with one. But I feel like that might just do it good enough. So we'll put the glass in for now, and then we'll start working inside the cabinet. So I'll deal with this, and then I'll pop back in once we're ready to clean underneath there. Alright, so when you're doing the bottom of the playfield on a bingo, what you really gotta focus on is just switches. That's pretty much all there is here. So that's what I've done. I've cleaned all the switches on this entire piece here. That includes all 25 hole number switches. This switch stack over here when the shutter closes and opens. The lifter start relay. And all the ones here in the shutter motor unit itself. And the thing is, there's very little substance to it, so I don't really film this part that much. Same with the cabinet. All you really gotta do is just clean the trough switches, the ones on the ball lifter motor, and then the ones on the coin door. And of course the buttons too, for the selections. So, I've already done that, so we're basically good to go. Now, you can see that on the shutter, there's a little hole below the big hole for the ball to sit into. And apparently, I've checked back on all my previous videos in the past, and apparently all these holes have been on each shutter in every game so far. So I guess I just completely missed it, because I used to always take the shutter off to access the hole switches, and apparently you don't need to do that. But I guess it's good practice if you want to, in case you need to deal with some wiring issues, which hopefully mine doesn't have, but I guess we'll see. And in this game specifically, there's only one button on the door, so that's all I had to take care of. And the Jones plug too, you gotta clean that, which I also have. And I've also noticed that there's been some wires either extended or added in this prong right here. I might just leave it alone. So I guess that's pretty much everything here. The shutter motor moves fine, so I don't need to oil anything. You can on yours if you need to. But I'm gonna wrap this up, and then we're gonna flip the playfield over, and then we're gonna start cleaning the top because that's the next thing on the priority list. Alright folks, so it is the next day, almost 24 hours since the last clip. So I did my usual, powered the game on, and tested the magic squares. And what seems to happen every time is, when I press any of the buttons, at first, the whole unit makes a clunk noise and then nothing happens. But then the next time when I press it, it's fine and the corners move. So that's what happened as usual. And everything appears to be working. A is working, B is working, actually. C is working, D is working, and E is working. So I think we're out of the woods with that, but I'm still keep my eye on A and B because you never know what could happen. But it's time to do this playfield. Get it looking nice and good because it plays horribly. I've been playing it as I've been testing it here and there, and it absolutely sucks. So we're about to change that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a time-lapse segment, like you see a lot of flipper pinball repairs do, which I think is pretty neat. So I just hop on the cliche and do it too. It can be satisfying if your game is destroyed. And take all the posts off, take all the springs off, take the apron off, take this guide off, and take out the light candles off, which I've already done since when I tilt the playfield up, they usually just fall in the cabinet. And then we're gonna spray some Windex on it, because that's what I also see them do, and it seems to work pretty good as a cleaner. And scrub it with a magic eraser, which also does very well, because it's like a very fine melamine foam, so it like sands the paint just slightly, not aggressively of course. It gets all the dirt out of there. And it's done wonders in the past for me. So that's what I'm going to do. So I will get started, and you will see, as I will see, how this project will turn out. So here we go. All right, folks, playfield is done. Boy, it's beautiful. So, I cleaned the pinballs too, and that board in the bottom, that divider board, while I was at it. So that should prevent the playfield from getting really dirty quickly, I'd imagine. And it should play much differently too. It already seems like it's going to play a lot differently instead of seeing all the pinballs roll around. And I serviced the shooter rod too. It's nice and snappy now. So I guess now, after all that work that we've done, let's play a few games and see if it is any different, which I'd imagine it should because we've gone through all those electronics. I need to tinker with that light bulb. All right, here we go. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is that it gave us our 4 extra credits. So that switch there in the back on the control unit was what was responsible for that, which I suspected it would. I'm gonna close this so it's not that loud. All right. We got A so far. Hit the coin flip again. We got E. Ooh, we got 4/5. That's good. There's corners. That's the first time I've seen that lit before. Okay, now we got after 5th. All right, that's good enough there. Okay, here comes the first ball. Shutter closed. 13. 13 is lit. All right. 3. 3 is working. 8. 8 is working. Just the fourth lockout. 11. 11 is working. 15. 15 is working. Let's see if that A corner works. Sure does. Okay, got the E one, but can't really do a lot. That's all right. We'll try again. If we can't make a score the next time, then we'll just make one so we can see if the scoring works. Ooh, we got A, B, and C. I think how that coin unit works is every time the reel steps down, it steps up the coin unit. There's E again. I don't think it's gonna get any better than that. Okay. $18 is lit. Six is lit. 4. Okay, move the A corner. All right. Also gonna move C. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. 2. Uh-oh, 2 is not working. I'm trying to pick up the pinball. It's way in there. Let's see. I need to look at 2. Hopefully it's not the light bulb, because I checked, all the light bulbs are working, so it's either not in the socket very good or we got a wiring issue. Hopefully not what I just said. Okay, let's take this last ball. Which score is better? Well, technically yellow and blue are both the same, but we'll try the yellow score. So I'll put in 24. All right, now we have a 3 in the row in the yellow. So I'm gonna press the R button. We're gonna see if it pays me out. I should get 40 credits. There it goes. All right, counted up correctly. Oh, I just noticed the light bulb behind there's not working. Okay, so far the scoring is working in the yellow. I'll need to play it a lot more to know for sure. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. So I will play a bunch of games, and then as I go through them all, I'll write down what doesn't work, what we need to look at. We already know one thing, number 2. And I need to check a bunch of other things like corners, we need to check that. Selection seems to be working, E is working, all the magic squares are working, so we don't got a lot left to go. And there's a whole bunch of cosmetic things. I need to do the foot rail, and I've also been doing the cabinet as I've been tackling the electronics, the magic squares. I wiped down this entire side pretty much of the head. I did the frame. You may have noticed that was a lot cleaner in the previous clips. The steel rails are clean too. I did them. This one was the one that had the real bad rust. It was right here. Fortunately, that's as good as I can get. It still feels really rough, but it is what it is. And then this side, actually I didn't even finish this side. I started here, but I need to finish it, but that shouldn't take too long. This side's clean. This game actually cleaned up, believe it or not. A lot of these games that I've got from this gentleman haven't cleaned up good at all. Front's pretty good. Still need to paint the button. I need to clean the coin door some more. The thing is with the coin door is that it has a weird texture to it, so it's kind of actually hard to clean, but I'll keep going with it. Still need to clean the shooter rod a little bit, at least the bezel anyway. And need to fix that back corner and do some light bulb mods in the glass. But that'll wrap it up. So I'll be back in a moment, and then we'll just start working through all the crap that doesn't work. Should be lots of fun. All right, folks, I've been working through it a bit, rounding up all the problems in this machine. Hey, now I know what to put in the title of the video. Huh. But they just been real small things, so I haven't really been filming them. But I did come across one that's kind of big, and actually found the issue already, but I'm going to tell you what's going on and what I had to do to find it. So the problem was on the C corner of the magic squares. When you make a win, the control unit doesn't find it. And I tracked it down to the search relay number 5, right up here. It does not seem to pull in, and I found out by holding it in while it's spinning, it will find it, and as soon as I let go of the coil, it stops. So that's the starting point of the issue. So I decided to track it down through, I used the manuals and the schematics, of course, over here to the control unit, and the wire on the relay is a red and black, and here is a red and black wire here. Goes to this finger, and it goes to through this through these discs here inside to the pin that white wire soldered to this finger right here. And I know it's that finger because if I move this back a couple rivets where it's on here, that relay pulls in, and if I lift this finger up, it disengages. So that's how I knew it was that one. And this position that it's on right now is the one that it should be paying me out with, but it's not. So I looked in the manual, because I don't have the manual to show you. And when it's showing these discs, it shows them from the wiring side. So imagine this just flipped around. And it shows the rivets here, and the position that this wire is on is called G. And it goes to, well, it jumps around all over the place on this board, but evidently it goes to a lug on the side with a, well, I think it was white and brown. So I believe this is it right here, white and brown. It's a cloth wire, mind you. And it goes to those Jones plugs right there. I used the schematics to find that out. I'll show you here. So here they are on the schematics, the plugs. For a long time I thought these weren't shown on the schematics, but apparently they are. They're just like way out of reach, or way out of view rather. But the Magic Squares plugs, and the wire code was 56-10. And there it is right there, 56-10. So the next thing it goes to is the lug on the C disc. Again, that's in the manual. And here it is right here. And it showed that it goes out through these fingers to a black wire. And there is a black and yellow wire, but that's not what the color code was. But that was before I started checking through all this. I was just thinking as I was reading the schematic and the manual online. But you know, I had this feeling to just check the Jones plugs. So I came over here. This again, it's this plug right here in the middle. And where is it? Here it is. Here's the white and brown wire that goes to the C disc. And on the other side, where it goes to the control unit, I did find this. So that's our issue. The wires just broke off the lug. So I just got to solder that back and it should be good to go. But that's the kind of tracking down you got to do sometimes to find things like that. I do recommend though, just to save yourself the time, if you're doing something like this in your machine, or I guess a flipper machine, and one of the connections goes through a Jones plug, check that first, because you're going to be going down a rabbit hole if you don't check that first, and it turns out that that's the issue, like it was here for me, and also was the issue in my previous game, Stock Market. So that's all I gotta do there. So I'm gonna solder that back and then I'm gonna keep going. And then I'll come back if I finished up all the issues or if we gotta look at something else. All right, folks, we're about done with the machine. There's only a few things left I gotta do, but one of the things that we still need to check is corners. So I've lit corners score 100 and I've put the numbers in the corresponding holes to enable that. So we're going to try it. So we have 0 credits, it should pay me out 100. I'd imagine how that replay counter works is it will just step up one position all the way to 100, then stop. And then when you have 200 lit, it just steps up every 2 positions. That's my guess, but we'll find out. All right, so I'll press the button and then it should start paying me out. Here it goes. Oh, that's not right. Okay, there it goes. Okay, it was 1 off, gave me 101, but it's pretty much on the money. So I might have to watch it. I don't know why it stopped, but I don't know, maybe the fingers on those replay counters, I probably didn't clean them good enough. Maybe, we'll see. But so we'll just rinse and repeat for 200 and then we'll see if that works. So I'll be back shortly and we'll test that too. Okay, I have lit corners score 200. So by the end we should get 300, or have 300 rather. All right, so let's see if it works. Yeah, I can hear it in the back pulsing every 2 steps, so I was right about that. Stopped again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, close enough. Give me 302. So I might need to mess with that switch a little bit. It's this one right here, I believe. Right? No, it's this one. I have to mess with that one. It looks pretty clean to me. I might have to adjust it some more, but it's basically working, so I'm satisfied enough. So I guess I'll cut back when the machine is done, and then we can wrap up this video. All right, folks, I got this corner repaired, I guess. Guess we'll see when I put the leg on. I got the wood to pretty much butt up against the other wood. The problem is, as you can see, a lot of it is like chipped away. That was kind of for me, just bashing at it, getting those nails in there. But I think the other thing is the wood is kind of like rotted a bit, because like when you listen to it, it kind of sounds like the wood is like separated kind of, and it practically is, but I don't know if that's from water damage or from that accident. But I got that side pretty much all together. I had to bash at it really hard a couple times to get it to line up good. I also had to loosen the head bolts, the bottom ones, so that this wall would mount flush, because with the head sitting on it, it wouldn't move really. And I also got the cord out from under there, as you can see. But I believe these nails and wood screws should do the trick. Doesn't seem like it'll come apart, but I don't know. Guess we'll see, but I got my fingers crossed. So I'll put the leg on. I'm also going to adjust the levers because the playfield's a little too flat. And it sucks playing it like that. I learned that from Mystic Gate. But that should help make the gameplay a lot better. And this leg bolt will help a lot. Or not leg bolt, this leg corner repair should help a lot in the future. I don't know what's going to happen down the road, if this will split apart again, or if it'll stay like this and someone can fix it a little bit better than this, or they can just leave it alone. But that's for whoever the next owner is going to be to deal with. So I'll be back when the leg is on. We'll see if it's any better. All right, folks, she is done. Just finish up the rest of the cosmetics, like paint the front door button, clean the shooter rod bezel a bit more. I cleaned the foot rail and I painted back in the buttons because they were in good enough shape to do so. One of these little nubs is missing, but that's all right. This side, finished cleaning the steel rail. I scrubbed this side of the cabinet too, which also turned out great, just like the other side. Got the glass all clean. Looks great. There is, however, a big scratch right here in the middle. I don't know if you can see it, but it goes all the way up. Right here is the worst spot, but when you're playing from here, you can see it, but not too well. And the back glass, I got the translucent areas lit up. I think it looks a little better. The entire thing is translucent, but I didn't feel like putting in more bulbs. I think that looks good enough, honestly. And then as for this corner, the cabinet is nice and solid, but the threads for the legs are gone. And I actually remembered when I was doing that when we was taking this machine apart, I remember we couldn't get the back legs off. And I kept contemplating why. But then one of the owners who was also helping us disassemble these machines pointed out that the legs bolts for the back ones, both of them, this one and the other one, the bolts had some nuts in them holding them onto the cabinet. And I actually remember seeing in my stash of bolts at my storage unit a few bolts with the nuts on the end. So I guess those were for this machine. I totally forgot about that. And it's weird because when I put the bolts in, they threaded in, like you couldn't pull them out, but they wouldn't tighten once you got all the way to the leg. So for this one, I put a couple nuts behind it, cranked it down, and now it's rock solid. It still moves a little bit, but it should be fine. I don't know, for some reason this head is super heavy, and there's not even that much stuff in it. Maybe it's the wood that it's made of, I'm not sure. But aside from that, there were a few electrical problems that I ended up repairing since the wire issue. I'll try my best to remember them. They were small things, of course, like I said in the previous clips. So for starters, we remember the first issue was number 2 was not lighting up. That ended up being the loose bulb in the socket, like I thought so. But the end of the bulb was like all like worn or something, like damaged. Well, not really damaged, but it was really weird. So I ended up putting in a new bulb in it because tinkering with the other one that was in it originally, it would light, but then once you put it back together, it would stop working. So I just put another one in there and it's good to go. There was an issue with the timer unit reset with the R button. That ended up being a misadjusted switch on the ball lift motor. And let's see, I think there was one other thing. There wasn't much that was wrong with this. Trying to remember, it's a few days since I've made that previous clip, so I don't remember much. And the thing is, when I'm working on these machines, I don't spend that much time on them, and I do have a lot of other hobbies that aren't these bingo machines, so it's hard to remember some things, but I think that might have been it, actually. I don't know if I remember later on when we play it, I'll mention it, but I think that was it. And another unfortunate thing is, like Miss America Deluxe, this left channel, I can't get it much better than that, because the problem is the cats kept urinating on it for so long that it's just destroyed the metal. It's literally falling apart. And I'm afraid that if I try to keep going with that, it's just going to end up crumbling. So that's just going to have to be the way it is. I could spray paint it, but you know, I feel like the paint's just going to come off later in time. So I just left that alone. But other than that, it's been playing all right. Adjusted the leg levers in the back a little bit, so the ball rolls a bit faster. And the issue that I have with these games, this game, Mystic Gate, Tahiti, and I think, well, there's Miss Universe too, but that's a completely separate game, so I don't include that one. But the randomization is not pure. It's random, but it's fixed randomization. And what I mean by that is, I figured out how it works. I'll show you. So the way the game's randomization works, since apparently a full-blown mixer unit, or a traditional one rather, was too much to put in here, and they just put this piece of crap in instead, the program disk is basically the game's code. And a lot of the randomization, when you unlock things as you put a coin in or you spend a credit, involves both the coin unit and, as I remember finding out later, the scramble unit. That's what this was. I couldn't remember it before, but now I remember that's what it was called. As the coin unit steps up, it connects circuits from the program disk and the scramble unit to the feature units, magic squares and selections. Scores are handled separately, I believe. So like when you play these games for a long time, you can kind of predict what's going to happen, and I don't really like that. I like the pure randomization, because say that right now I have all four corners and E line. Well, let's say the next time I play it, it'll unlock A, but not any of the others, and it'll unlock E, and then it'll unlock after fifth. And that's usually how that game setting is, if that makes sense. And it's sometimes, if you get lucky enough, or if it happens, you could have the same program as the last game that you played. So like, you could start a new game and you could still only unlock A, then E, then after fifth, and even a corner score 200. I never seen the first or 100 lit. I don't know if that's an issue or not, but I don't know if it just has to do with the program unit. But that's what I don't like about it. I know it sucks without the drag arms to stall the units when they're spinning. It's just one revolution and then that's it. So if that didn't make sense, you'll understand what I mean when we play it. But you know, it is what it is. That's how it was designed. You know, it's not with a problem with the actual game. It's the technology that it uses. And apparently Galaxy, which is another feature stripped down game, it has it has the actual the traditional technology. Like it has a controlling unit with drag arms on it, and I believe its mixer unit is not like the program unit, but it's like what did it look like? It didn't quite look like a traditional mixer unit, but it definitely did not look like a program unit. I have a couple of those, so you'll see what I mean eventually when we work on them. But that's enough rambling. I'll set up the tripod. We'll play some games for you to see, because apparently this game actually lets you score very high. Like a lot of these credits I still have, mainly from corner scoring. A lot of them, I spent probably a couple hundred, but I've gained a couple hundred back just by playing it. So you'll see how it plays. It plays all right. I still need to keep my eye on the B and A. I think it's actually the switches on the buttons. Sometimes when I press them, they don't move. But I'm not quite sure. But anyways, we'll set it up and we'll play it. Alright, we'll play a few games. We have way less credits now because we've been playing it, and it kind of sucks because you can't win. The RNG is so luck-based in this game because of the crappy technology that it has, but you know, it's whatever. But alright, we'll start. Alright. Alright. Notice how that's the exact same thing I had right before I started. That's what I was talking about in that previous clip, about how it's predictable. But, I don't know. Alright, here comes the first ball. Okay, 4. Seven. 3. Okay. I don't know why my press buttons now lights aren't flashing, but I'll have to look at that later. But I'm gonna move the A corner. There we go. And since I have E unlocked, I'm actually gonna move it up. Like that. Since it's easy to land in 13, but since now that I've said that, it won't happen. But if I do that successfully, I'll make a 4 in line. Okay, 10. 6. Okay, it didn't work that time. All right. We got all the corners this time. Okay, 17. Okay, 24. Okay, 16. Can't move E. I can move D, so I'll move D. Like that. All right. Nine. Okay, there we go. Finally got a win. All right. So 19 or 21, we can make some big money. Or I guess 13 or 25. Aha, there we go. All right, so now we should get 36 credits, which isn't a lot. But hey, it's better than nothing, which is what I usually get. So I'm gonna press the R button. Okay, perfect. All right, start a new game. All right, only A and B this time, but we got E, so that's good. Okay, 18. Five. $13. Okay, you can move the E line up. Okay, that's good. Seven. All right. Okay, 24. All right. Okay. Okay, 6. $10. All right. Two. Well, I can't move C line, or at the corner rather. I could move B that way, so if I get lucky I could land in 16 and 20, but you know, what are the chances of that? But I guess we'll just keep it as is. 13. All right, last game. All right, hopefully we can get something this time, but we'll see. Seven again. Nine. All right. $20. Okay. $3. I think I might as well leave it there because that gives me multiple chances to make wins. I need 16, 24, 12, and I believe that's it. All right. $18. Well, I guess it is what it is. So, there you go, folks. There's Bally's Bonanza boat anchor bingo game. I didn't really like this one, but it has a really cool aesthetic, just not very good gameplay. But if you like it, then that's your personal preference. So that is the end of this repair video. I hope you enjoyed it. At least this game didn't give me shit, unlike the other ones in the past. I think this one is actually, I've fixed in record-breaking time. Usually it takes about, I'd say a little over a month for one that's as simple as this, but this one I finished in less than that. But stay in your seats because this is going to be the start of the peak era of the Bally Boat Anchor Bingo Pinball Repair video series. I got a whole bunch of cool games coming up. They're going to be each of their own game type. It's going to be really fun. Several unique games. Not like mind-blowing games, of course. Ones that you see every now and then. But still really cool ones that I don't have a lot of videos of. Alright, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.